Okay, to demonstrate the rate of diminution, I'm going to draw my horizon line. I'm going to do this in 2-point perspective, as if you're looking at the corner of a row of buildings, like in any downtown or urban kind of setting. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my 2 vanishing points on the same horizon line. Then I'm going to first draw my corner of the building. And that is always a vertical line. Okay, helps to put little points on the ends here. Now I'm going to draw my structural lines that recede back to the vanishing point, and I like to draw these structural lines really lightly, so they're easier to erase when I'm all done. So everything on the right side is going to correspond to this. Every right face of the building is going to respond to the right vanishing point, and everything on the left face of the building or plane is going to respond to the left vanishing point. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to determine kind of like the shape of the building in general. My first box, and you can actually measure this out if you wanted a perfect cube. So we'll say it's 1, 2, 3 inches this way, 1, 2, 3 inches this way. So that would be a perfect cube. Okay. Gonna darken these lines. Okay, so now to figure this out, what I want to do is I'm gonna take I want to find like the center of this cube or this face. So I'm just gonna draw a light X in between from opposite corners. And now I've found that perfect center there. Now from there, I'm going to draw a new line that's receding back to the vanishing point from that center. And I'm going to use this new line to determine how wide each subsequent building would be if it was, in theory, the same width. So you can see how it gets foreshortened as it goes back into space. Okay, so now I'm going to not go from this line, but the corner of that back line. And then I want it to meet up to where that new line I just drew meets this edge. And instead of just drawing a line, I'm just going to follow it down with my pencil and see where it hits this bottom structural line that's receding back to the vanishing point. And I'm going to draw a dot there. And from that dot, I'm going to create a vertical line that's creating the edge of my new building. And if I wanted to make a building that was slightly taller than the previous one, maybe it's taller but it's the same width, I could just draw this line up. And then this corner edge, which would be this, just like this edge on this building, would recede back to this vanishing point and disappear behind the front face of that building. Okay. And this edge, we'll say that there's like a little alleyway here. So the space in between these two buildings would be, in theory, the same width as this building. Okay, so now we need to figure out the front face of this building, like the storefront, how wide it would be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back not to this line, but to this second one back. Line it up, my ruler up, and then see where it hits this new rate of diminution line here, and then drop a point where it meets the bottom vanishing point. And then I can just create a vertical line from there. And then to figure out this top edge of the building, I'm going to go from this point here, which is similar to this point, and line it up so it matches the vanishing point, and drop a line. Okay. I'm going to erase any extraneous lines, maybe darken this line up. All right, so now we really have a better understanding of how things get squished in width as they go back into space. And we'll do that one more time. So let's say I'm going to make a shorter building. So we have a medium size, a tall, and then a shorter one. So what I would do is go from my second line here, and this one's going to be pretty dramatically foreshortened. See where it meets that second diminution line, right? And then look down and see where it also meets my bottom structural line that recedes back to the vanishing point. Drop my point. Draw a vertical line for the right edge of that building. And then this top edge is going to be determined by this right vanishing point, because it's the right part of the storefront, right? So this is the left side. We'll say this was all bricks, and this is where the door was. This is also the front, so it would be right here, and you can't see this face because it's up against the back side of this building, right? Okay. So I just wanted to do one more over on this side, and I've traced the lines so you can see them a little better. So if I were going to make more buildings on this side, and we'll say I'm going to make one more that's taller than this one. So this is a kind of corner building. We have an alleyway here, and maybe one more building that is taller than this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to extend this front face upwards for how tall we want that building. We'll say it's like really tall. Okay, and now we're going to figure out how wide it needs to be on this face. So we're going to do the X thing again. Make a quick X here, a quick X here. And remember, you only have to do the X on the first building, okay? Not all the way through. And then I find my center point. And then I take that point all the way back to this left vanishing point. Okay, so this is my new kind of line of diminution, not my horizon line, it's separate. And then I'm going to take that back corner, line it up where it meets the back edge of the face of the building, and then see where it meets the bottom structural line going to the left vanishing point. Drop a line, or sorry, a little dot. And then I'm going to create this other edge of the building that needs to be as tall as this line, okay? Because this is the front left side face. So the front of this building the top front of this building needs to correspond to this vanishing point. Just like this goes here, and this top goes there, this one goes there. Okay, and it's pretty dramatic because it's pretty close to the vanishing point. So now I need to create this edge on this side of the building, like the side. So I'm gonna find this corner, and it's actually gonna go to the opposite vanishing point, the right side, because this is a right facing plane of the building. And then I'm just gonna drop that back here. And if I wanted to, I could cut that building short here, but I like that it kind of extends back in space a little. Scoot this a little closer. Okay, let me just trace these lines so you don't get lost. Sometimes that's helpful to do with a darker pencil, like a 1B. I'm doing it in pen just so you can actually see. I wouldn't recommend doing it in pen when you're first learning, because you can't erase it. But okay, so that is that. I can quickly show you how to do like a doorway on this. We'll do it on this one. So if you had a doorway here, I would make two parallel lines that go up. And would be the width of the door. And the top of the door would be determined by that vanishing point. So I'm just going to draw a line. It looks like I need to bring this one up a little more. So you can see how this angle right here actually isn't flat. It's actually corresponding to this vanishing point. It's actually right on the horizon line, so it looks pretty close to flat. But if I were to make some windows, which I can do, let's say we want windows here, like one big window, okay? So you take the bottom molding of that window would need to correspond to that vanishing point, and also with the kind of top molding of the windows. So just going to draw that. And then the right and left edges of the molding of the windows would be vertical lines. So you can really see that the top edges of the buildings are the ones that are being foreshortened, and the right and left edges of the plane are still staying pretty vertical. Okay.